The world of poker has been largely a boys' club, although there have been some pretty famous names throughout the years. I think Annie Duke was one, and then Jennifer Tilly was pretty popular in the poker tour. Nowadays, there are lots of women that play poker. And as you might expect, now we have feminism in poker. Except one woman tried to bring some SJW woke feminist outrage to poker, and it was so quickly and so spectacularly destroyed, I had to cover it. Normally, I don't really do the feminist-owned type videos anymore, but this one is so good and so delicious that I had to cover it. So there is this Club WPT. Again, I don't promote gambling. I love poker. I don't think poker is gambling, but you know, I don't, there's a reason I don't promote a lot of those gambling sites and crypto sites and stuff like that, because I worry about my viewers getting hooked on it. Now, I will say times are tough on YouTube these days. So you might see your boy doing some Polymarket ads at some point here, but nonetheless, so Club WPT, which is an online like poker website, puts out an ad and says, GTO players took this from us. And it's a video of a girl twerking on a poker table, I'm guessing. Now, I'm not going to show much more because you can see her undergarments. Now, I'm not really sure, like, you know, this is at their Friendsgiving. I don't know if this is some girl being I don't know. I don't want to judge this woman. Maybe it was a skit. She's definitely up to some hoe activity, though, okay? So now we have this Abby Merck, who is a poker player. And she's sponsored by BetMGM, apparently. Or she's an ambassador for them. So maybe she has a problem with this. So she goes, another unbelievably disappointing post from Club WPT Gold. Part of having a platform is knowing how to use it. Now, when people are talking about platforming people, that's usually a leftist talking point. Now it has recently become a woke right talking point, talking about, oh, you can or you cannot have this person on your show. You know, Tucker bad because he puts another person on this show, you know, like another show. I don't really know. You know, I don't care who platforms who. Anyway, what could possibly have been the point except for to get clicks by demeaning women? I don't know. This woman seems to be having a pretty good time to me. GTO players took this from us as if this is what you want to see women reduced to. Sex symbols in the industry? Lame as F. Do better. In every conceivable way, this is a SJW poker player. Except what if I told you this same poker player posts this type of content on her own feed? What? Gadzooks! What? It turns out she's also a whore for clicks? What? A woman being a hypocrite? No! Not on the week of Thanksgiving. No. Here's another woman, Haley Hannah, who apparently is unfathomably based. Poker socialite, tired mom. Okay? Yo, Abby, we're cool and everything, but this is laughable. Yes, I agree the post they made is lame, but to make a whole feminist stance about it, when you actively attempt to post thirst traps daily on Instagram and make content centered around your appearance is a bit hypocritical, no? Literally half the reason you're even on the map is because I called you out a year ago for making poker content about your bra/cup size and called you a clown. Here's what she says, of course. I appreciate the fact that you agree with the sentiment, but my success has nothing to do with my appearance, nor your posts on Twitter. When I post something that I feel and look good in, it gets called a thirst trap, whether I meant it to be or not. It gets called a thirst trap. as per the cup size joke, I don't think you really understood the joke, and that's okay. It was a miss for you. But Club WPT's post, that was a miss for me, as simple as that. So then she replies, this is what you posted in your day in the life of a poker player. But yeah, girl, keep preaching for women not to be objectified and looked at as sex symbols in poker. So she posts pictures in her underwear. And she finally admits defeat here. Honestly, gonna give you this one. This post really isn't how I want to be represented, and I've learned a lot about how I want and I should be portraying myself online since then. My content has changed a lot through just 2 years, always working to be better. This post was definitely a miss. She's still going with that. First of all, she's going with that I'm a feminist now, but I wasn't a feminist then nonsense. You know, I love this response. We all grow and change, and you owning this is very mature. Really? Really? Turn off your phone. You're getting masterclass right now. Nothing has changed. This was 6 days ago. You're pretty bad at poker. So you think I'm pretty? Here's a picture of her in a bikini. This was 6 days ago. She did not change this at all. And by the way, Tim Pool, absolutely loving this. Female poker player gets offended over video post of woman twerking on poker table, then gets called out for posting thirst traps at poker vlogs. I think we need to keep calling out amoral people who try to level moral purity for attention. In her defense, I don't know her, but she admitted defeat. I don't really care. She only admitted defeat when the world of poker, you know, gambling, one of the last bastions of actual, like, men being men and women being allowed to be there, if they want to be women. But this is the thing. When you allow women into your spaces, and I'm talking about spaces that are primarily men, not spaces that are just already for, you know, that exist for everybody. I can give you 1,000 examples of women coming into something and completely ruining it. Can you name one that they entered into a primarily male-dominated space and made it better? I am challenging you to name one. Okay? How about Magic the Gathering? Magic the Gathering is a game that is still 95 to 98% men. I don't care what Wizards of the Coast, the makers of the game, want to pretend and lie and say, well, it's 30% women. It isn't. The game is not 30% women. It's never been 30% women. But Magic wanted to portray this, so they propped up a couple of women, most of them trans, so most of them were men anyway, biologically, and the game turned into an SJW disaster. Millions of people fled the game. It's because they say, well, we want to have women. And then the women that they bring in are dork activists who actually don't like the game. They're either dork activists or whores. So let's say, what's her name? Years ago that I essentially got canceled from the game for calling a whore, a cosplayer. There was simply a cosplayer to OF website pipeline. I called it out. I was ahead of the game, but I called it out sloppily and I was too mean in the way I did it. I admit that. What is that cosplayer doing nowadays? OF. Just like I said, you let women into video game streaming, and what do? You get dorks like Pokimane, who are liars and frauds, or you get whores. You get women who pretend to play video games and are there only to extract money from young, lonely men. Now, I get that it's a complicated thing because there definitely are women who like video games. This is undeniable. There are lots of female gamers. But the problem is, how do you keep the whores out? How do you keep the women who pretend to be video game fans or Magic the Gathering fans or poker fans who are really just there to extract lonely men from their wealth? How do you keep them out? Well, like this. You call them out. You show them that they are in fact not that. You see, we need to keep calling out immoral people who try to leverage moral purity for attention. Here's Jenna Ellis, You know, it's not happening to me because I don't choose to participate in soft. This is talking about calendar game, right? My success has nothing to do with my appearance, Lamau. I guarantee that nobody is following her to hear her, following her to hear her opinions. I guess owning it is an important aspect of this, but poker, just like Magic the Gathering and video games, any place that you have a high concentration of men, you will have a high concentration of whores. This is probably true all the way back to the biblical era of where you had male-dominated spaces. I don't know what you would say, the biblical equivalent of poker was, but this is a tale as old as time. My question to the viewers is there any primarily male-dominated space that bent over backwards to get females into that got better after they were there? I can't name one. Maybe there is one. Let me know in the comment section down below. I agree with Tim. I love poker. I would love to play poker professionally one day. I paid for my college playing poker, but I can't play it really legally in my state. You know, I'm actually probably lucky there's an online poker because I would probably be broke. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. And we'll talk to you again real soon.